And so, Patrick, it's nice to see your dad's got his priorities straight while he's recuperating. He's reliving a loss to Cortland from 1983. And I missed a foul shot with a minute to go, and he refuses to let me take the blame for it. So I'm going to start by thanking everyone who's contributed to my Catholic education over the years. These days, it's in favor to jump on the bandwagon. Bad news travels fast, good news never gets talked about. And so I want to thank the Dominican sisters from Blauvelt, New York, who taught me from grades 1 through 8 when I assure you I was not a good boy. Then the Christian brothers at Monsignor Farrell High School, and then the Jesuits at Moyne, and then for Fordham for a master's degree. My Catholic education and the great men who taught me how to play life through basketball, I could not have had a better experience than my Catholic education, about service, about not believing in things without doing them. It's about putting yourself out there. And so I just want to give a few thank yous today. And I'm going to thank Coach Jack Cannon, who's from St. Charles. He asked me to try out in 1975 and cut me, and that was the last team I was ever cut on. And then I have some friends from St. Charles up there. Jim Kelly, a hero fireman from 2811 on that horrible day in New York, both before and after. I love you, Jimmy. And my friend Chris Cummings, who's not here, who's Capitol Police in DC. I went to Farrell High School and I had the pleasure of being coached by a tough Christian brother named Brother Joe Piggott, who coached varsity at Rice and then JV on Staten Island. And he was a tough guy, and I appreciated how much he scared me. It prepared me for Mr. Nyland when I got here. And so I came to Moyne after the Empire State Games, and it was because of the warmth and generosity and the love of the Lee family. Mike Lee, Jimmy Lee, their dad. The Lees are basketball royalty in Syracuse. You'll never find a nicer man than Mike Lee. Jim Lee kicked my ass in one-on-one every day for 3 years, game of 5. I never scored 3. He wore a back brace. He won every game. He led his team to the Final Four when he was a senior. And Google Phil Ford. He took a charge on Phil Ford, who probably was the greatest point guard in the history of college basketball at that time. Then I had the pleasure of playing for Coach Beeline, who he just expected you to be a man. He did it by example. He taught you in private. He scared you in public. He had great assistant coaches. He trusted them. And so I'd like to thank Coach Smorelli, who I haven't talked to in, I don't know, God knows. Anybody see him? Tell him thank you for some defensive coach. And Bob Cowa, who somehow got me through the accounting program, as well as basketball. My freshman year at Moyne, we won 5 games. It was terrible. It snowed on Mother's Day. It was more games than I lost in high school. It was during the Iranian hostage crisis. The Post-Standard had our losing streak and the hostages day to day. Thank God there was no social media. And then some players started to show up. And so Bobby Chestnut and Wright Lassiter and Jim Bova, who transferred from Potsdam, wearing a pair of shorts from Daisy Duke on the first day of practice, I gotta say it. Sharpshooter, squinting, wearing contacts, but he never missed, I don't know. And a good friend. And sophomore year, 10 wins. Junior year, 13 wins. Senior year, 20 wins. I thought, out of all the awards you could win, the most assists is the one I would want, until I realized I would rather be on the next awardees for anything. They won the championship. And so I would be a bench player on that team rather than get this award, because winning is good. Basketball has taught me a lot about life. It's taught me how to lead. It's taught me how not to be afraid to fail. It taught me how to respond to failure. And quite frankly, you can do anything you want to do if you're willing to put in the price. I was born into an amazing family. My dad was a Catholic deacon. He married me and my wife. He baptized his grandson. My mom is here today. Our good fortune in our life, through her kids and her grandkids, it's only because of your prayers. Every day, very long time, I appreciate them. I've needed them. And then in our current life, my wife actually gets all the assists. Mary, I love you. And she's a sweetheart, and Shane and Savannah are here today, and we have a lovely family. We're very lucky. And so in my final thought, I would say, you're lucky to be at Moyne. This is the golden age of Moyne College, whether you know it or not. Linda, the deans, the campus, the athletic department, the business program, this is as good as it's been, although it's likely to get better. So I'm very proud to get an award from Moyne, in particular at this point in time, because it's a world-class institution with world-class values. Thank you for having me.